Ayurveda perspectives toward prevention and management of nicotine and alcohol dependence. This is printed in the Journal of Indian System of Medicine. Abstract. Nicotine and alcohol are the most widely consumed psychotropic drugs worldwide. The common use of both increases the risk of other non-communicable diseases to many folds. Ayurveda has widely described Sadvrita, good conduct, and Satvava Chikitsa, Ayurveda psychotherapy, which can be applied in this context along with replacement therapy with medicines described in the Madhyaya chapter of the Chikitsamhita Chikitsa Dana. The aim of this study is to highlight the concepts of prevention and management of addiction by various principles of Ayurveda. Major causes of addiction in younger age include genetic predisposition, environmental factors, parental negligence, pradyaparta, the intellectual blasphemy, dashita ahara, unhealthy diet regime, and a search for pleasure or a stress reliever. If there's a delay in tackling these problems at early stages, they may turn into a menace to health later. Acharasyan, Savrita, Sattva, Chikitsa are the preventative as well as curative measures of de-addiction. Ayurveda also advocates medicated smoke, so on, as a replacement therapy, use of daily and seasonable regimen, and doshashadana, the elimination of vitiated humors in day-to-day life, is essential to prevent or to treat addiction problems. In a nutshell, change in lifestyle, adoption of Ayurveda treatment principles, control of intellectual blasphemy, and environmental issues are directly concerned to deal with addiction problems. The measures adopted for the management of addiction ailments at initial stage also require strong willpower, meditation with counseling, and family, friends support. Introduction. In India, 60% of the people are dependent on various products containing tobacco, whereas 30% with alcohol addiction, which is the main gateway to other more toxic drugs. Nicotine and alcohol are the most common leading causes of preventable morbidity and mortality. Tobacco and alcohol consumption often together create more health hazards. Dependence on alcohol and tobacco is also correlated, as people who are dependent on alcohol are 3 times more likely to be smokers, and people who are dependent on tobacco are 4 times more likely than the general public to dependent on alcohol. The addiction causes not only physical morbidity, but also mental and social ones. Underage dependence on these toxic substances is becoming a new challenge, and continuously on the rise in India. Owing to the environmental effect, if children adopt this habit, then it becomes difficult to get rid of, with more hazard effects on developing brains. The harmful use of alcohol results in the death of 2.5 million people annually. Every year, the mortality rate due to the consumption of nicotine is increasing in India. The Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment undertook different surveys to assess the addiction problems, such as National Household Survey, Drug Abuse Monitoring Systems, and Rapid Assessment Survey. Nicotine is the main gateway to other drugs, so needs to be prevented from getting addicted. There's not much description found in Ayurveda Compendia and in research articles related to tobacco addiction, but the same Ayurveda principles can be applied as mentioned for alcohol to get de-addicted from both substances. The main withdrawal effects of both substances are anxiety, irritability, sleeplessness, anger, palpitation, perspiration, headache, muscle cramps, and so on. It affects each and every organ of the body. Atherosclerosis and premature degeneration of vital organs lead to stroke, heart disease, asthma, cancer, and neuritis. The aim of this review was to carry out a root cause analysis along with the scope of prevention of dependence problems and to highlight the possible role of Ayurveda principles as a multimodal approach at a time to tackle the same. This review may prove as a torchbearer to researchers and readers for the prevention and management of addiction problems through Ayurveda. Materials and methods. This review work was based on the data collected from the classical literatures of Ayurveda, the Bharati, which is the Shakrita, Charaka Samhita, Sushruta Samhita, and Astanga Harita, and Kashyap Samhita, and research works related to de-addiction published in international journals from 1980 to 2019. Observation and results. In Ayurveda, addiction is mentioned under Madache chapter, which is about alcohol dependence. Owing to over-drinking of alcoholic beverages, Vata, Pitta, and Raja, Tamas gets vitiated. People get addicted easily, demanding increasing doses for a pleasant effect. Unless they do not get it, they remain restless and uneasy as its withdrawal effects appear fast. They can become ready to do anything wrong for obtaining these drugs. Tobacco products are considered as constipation reliever, but that's a myth too. There's no description of tobacco plant Nicotiana found in Beatrice and is described very briefly in the Bhav Prakash Nishada. It's warned that its leaves are addictive and dangerous to health, except slightly useful in toothache and hot fermentation to reduce pain and swelling. Regarding alcohol, Acharya have described in detail about the Madhya symptoms, idiopathogenesis, complications, and its management. Bhagavata has mentioned Dravda and Vikshay diseases as complications. Stage-wise impact of alcohol consumption on human beings is summarized in Table 1. Tobacco and alcohol are pungent, astringent, and irritant in nature. They cause acidity, ulcer, headache, cramps, weakness, and body ache. Slowly, they block personal, economic, and social development. Addicted person engages in a vicious cycle of physical and mental health hazards and may adopt antisocial behavior. Owing to the overconsumption of various products containing nicotine such as tobacco, guaiacol, masala spray, jarda, hookah, bidi, and cigarette. People may develop many symptoms. At first, difficulty in deglutition, lockjaw trouble and mouth opening, change in voice, and so on. But pain is totally absent, hence most of the time these features get neglected. Owing to its abuse, white patch called as leukoplakia or subcutaneous fibrosis develop. However, if not treated and nicotine products are consumed regularly, then red patch appears called erythroplakia, which later may turn blackish, one known as melanopakia. Its cancerous and non-healing ulcer may appear in maxilla, mandibular region, or chin and oral cavity. The harmful effects of smoking extend far beyond the smoker to peripheral public. Exposure to secondhand smoke can cause serious diseases and deaths. Pregnant and lactating mothers should prevent the use of all toxic drugs to avoid fetal congenital anomalies, miscarriages, stillbirth, premature birth, or withdrawal symptoms. Role of Ayurveda treatment principles. Prajnapada means intellectual blasphemy, which is the major reason of any illness. And Sadvrita, Vriti, Acharvasayan, and Sadvaja Chikitsa play an important role to prevent Prajnapada. The adoption of our Ayurveda lifestyle, daily and seasonal regimen, body purification by Panchakarma, the 5 major procedures of detoxification, meditation, and yoga, along with medication as replacement therapy based on withdrawal symptoms, are very safe tools to combat addiction in both substances. In Ayurveda, some interventions have been advised, such as simple moral principles and the right conducts under the heading Sadarvrita. Achar means behavior, and Rasayan means rejuvenation. Thus, AR results in rejuvenation of body and mind. Following these measures, one can prevent addiction problems remarkably. It is the need of the hour to explore the role of Ayurveda in present context. According to Ayurveda, the body and mind are the same entity, which directs their interrelationship. Therefore, diseases may affect vice versa to each other. The role of change in lifestyle. Acharya Charak suggested few measures to overcome the dependence on such inculcation of morals, habit of doing meditation, taking nutritious diet, and adopting pranayama. According to him, body purification, a good friend circle or peers, loving and caring ambiance, and change of job, which reminds the addiction with strong willpower, are also helpful to get rid from the dependence of nicotine products and alcohol. SC is non-pharmacological Ayurvedic psychotherapy, which includes counseling, Pathra diet therapy, and controlled use of objects. It can be used in today's practice with judicious way at home by an expert. Replacement therapy means medicated congenial methodological use of wine, which is the best treatment of alcoholism as per Acharya, which can be contemplated under the use of controlled use of objects. Charaka has advised to adopt the Pandanichikram, which means a small quantity should be reduced to avoid strong withdrawal symptoms. Bath, citric pomegranate fruit juice, buttermilk, cold milk, light desired eatable and cold things should be reused to reduce the burning effect of alcohol. Milk is Ojovardak, which is having opposite properties to that of alcohol, hence appreciated by many acharya. Sun exposure, hot, pungent, dry, heavy eatables and drinks should be avoided. And lepan of herbs having cold potency. Shatrajit application should be encouraged to decrease the burning. These can be applicable in tobacco dependence too, as it's also having hot and pungent. Addition to the lavambachurna and trikachurna in wine with cold water or meat with sour substances and salt is less harmful. Yaktiva prashad chikitsa matache is trida shavahita, hence required to treat as per dosha dominance by thorough management. It includes rational therapy, which means Shodhan purification procedures or and the pharmacological use as per dominance of vitiated dosha. The use of Sheet Vata Pitta pacifier, astringent property herbs such as Ishur, Chandan, Daksha, Karjura, Tintadaka, and Jaduki are useful. Bhaghat has given emphasis to maintain hydration owing to Pitta Vidre. Shadavaja Parna Vidgrit are also excellent in Pitta Shaman and Rasian also. Pur and Chikapasa play an important role in prevention and management of psychic, psychosomatic, and central nervous system CNS issues. There are many herbal drugs in single or combination work as meta-intelligence booster, Balya anabolic, Vadahar Vata humor pacifier, and Bruhan Rasiana rejuvenating, which are also useful to treat harmful effects of tobacco and alcohol addiction. Alatamodek and Shukratsav are helpful to counteract ill effects of withdrawal symptoms, as well as to reduce the doses of substance use. Ashwagandha, Jahamahara, and Sapargandha have been found useful for de-addiction of alcohol. And if a person is strong enough, then Shodhan Panchkarma procedures such as the nasal installation, Basti, Varachan, and Vaman may be carried out for alcoholism. Pre-Panchkarma procedures such as Shiradhara, Shirabang, Sharabasti, relaxing procedures on the head, and the Snedhan body massage are useful. Discussion. In Ayurveda, 3 types of alcoholism have been mentioned. First one is panache, which is due to over intake in empty stomach or before digestion of previously taken wine. Second is Vribharan or Panakram, which is due to consumption of agitating wine. And the last one is due to sudden withdrawal of alcohol. Shashrut has described 3 conditions due to dominance of Kapha, Pitta, and Vata, respectively. The treatment of all types of alcoholism is described with amlarus or sour, lemon, dry grapes, pomegranate seeds, etc. The Charajat medicines of the Ilagana, salt, Trikatu, asafoetida, cold astringent herbs separately or mixed with alcohol. There's a good role of sour and salt, which produces sweetness, helps to reduce harsh effects on gut mucosa, and quick digestion of the alcohol. According to Ayurveda, any dravya medicine is taken in proper amount. They act as a nectar, otherwise a poison. Therefore, Acharya has given emphasis on Sanskrit, the medicated alcohol. Acharya chart describes some important rules for taking alcohol as preconditions of external and internal purification, right food conduct, and time to cope up with the imbalance created by alcohol in the body and mind. Alcohol is the opposite with the characteristics of ojas, which has a direct toxic effect on the sattva of the mind. Ideally, medicated alcohol should be tapered, and milk should be added in that tapering quality. Human brain produces dopamine normally, and what alcohol does is activate the nervous system to promote dopamine formation. The brain thus remembers the taste of alcohol and nicotine by creating special cells called receptor cells. As a person increases the quantity of alcohol, these cells also increase in number. When a person wants to give up their addiction, these receptor cells agitate and create withdrawal symptoms. Also, they produce unpleasant and even dangerous symptoms. Hence, sudden withdrawal creates Dwanasok-like complications. Alcohol in low doses activates GABA neurotransmitter, provides relaxing effect. There's a strong correlation between high level of alcohol and occurrence of lifestyle disorders. In alcoholism, there's a predominance of ama, or indigested food. Hence, fasting can be beneficial. Psychological encouragement to make individuals happy is the best treatment for alcoholism. Adoption of Ayurveda principles with medicated alcohol in the reduced tapering quantity may help by relaxing the brain and releasing good hormones. This method helps keeping away the agitation, anxiety, irritability, anger, and so on, to facilitate good conduct in daily life, along with counseling, entertainment, and music. However, separate evaluation of these concepts is needed to establish their role in maintaining mental health and in de-addiction. Chirac has emphasized on the benefits of non-addicted person instead of addicted, as a later addiction creates ojanasha, the destruction of tissue essence. For de-addiction, parent support is always needed to prevent doing the pranapart again. Owing to maintain strong willpower, also family and friends support is essential to distract from addiction. Likewise, many herbs are crucial in de-addiction of nicotine and alcohol, as mentioned in Table 3 with their mode of action. A single herbs, a combination of herbs, which is called kelp, it's also helpful in quitting addiction. Addiction creates many toxins and free radicals in the body with its increasing dose. Hence, it requires timely elimination of these toxins to keep body free from its complications. Panchakarma is very useful for biopurification and detoxification of the body. It also indirectly keeps mental health problems at bay. There are many factors that are also responsible and helpful for de-addiction, which are summarized in Table 6. For long-term use of our Ayurvedic medicines, procedures, yoga, pranayama, and counseling have an effective role in de-addiction of toxic drugs such as nicotine and alcohol. It is the need of the hour to say no to these toxic drugs, such as, and yes to life. Hence, effort should be made by all to stop consumption and stay healthy. Community psychiatrists, psychologists, various health providers of all paths, different organizations, and government should take part to help de-addict the individuals willing to quit and help make India free from psychotropic drug dependence. The role of meditation and yoga. Mindfulness breath meditation, anapana, observation of the natural breath coming in and out, in turn leads to academic improvement in enhancing memory and creativity. It helps to take right decision, development of self-confidence and courage. It also augments intelligence, social, emotional, and physical quotient. It thus develops a healthy mind and body. Yoga relaxes and energizes both the body and mind. The role of associated trigger management. A day is fixed to quit. Placing a reminder image on mobile wallpaper. Persons who are engaged in work or hobbies such as sports, music, gardening, or remain social. Yoga, pranayama, and meditation are excellent ways to tackle de-addiction, including Ayurveda psychotherapy, Satyavaja, a change in peer group, place, and way that reminds about drinking or nicotine use, is helpful to overcome an addiction. Thus, this review has interpretation of various Ayurvedic principles, such as Sattva Vajra Ari Sadvrita, the use of wholesome food and lifestyle, a good friend circle, the support of family, and covering all environmental issues. An amalgamation of all three treatment modalities of Chikitsa, Yukta Prashray, Variya Prashray, and Sattva Vajra has been included at a time to get de-addicted by psychotropic substance abuse of tobacco products and alcohol, which causes tridosha and rajas tamas vitiation and poisonous accumulation of toxic substances. The chikitsa related to dependence of tobacco and alcohol is bifurcated in the Shamanshahitsa Padanchik tapering with replacement therapy and Shodan procedures such as panchkarma with pathyate wholesome food and proper or healthy lifestyle as adjunct modalities. Conclusion. In Ayurveda, there's no direct references related to the management of tobacco de-addiction, although alcohol de-addiction description is in detail. However, Ayurveda principles such as daily good conduct, dietary guidelines, yoga, panchkarma, and SC are applicable in de-addiction of any substance abuse. The medicine therapy mentioned in the context of Mata Yaya Chikitsa can be claimed as beneficial as there are experience-based evidences of utility of these formulations, especially replacement therapy with medicated reduced quantity of substance drug. To improve life and to explore further scope of Ayurveda in the management of this burning issue, scientific research are needed to be undertaken. Financial support and scholarship is through National Library. Conflicts of interest with no conflicts. of interest.